I'm continuing reading on Shadow's son. And we are continuing on. We are continuing with chapter 11. So, chapter 11 of Shadow's son. When Ruth made it to the kitchen, she walked over to the table and got the rest of the baby food, only to turn around to see the one thing that she was supposed to be taking care of missing. Rouge dropped the baby food and screamed. Just when she was about to start looking for him, she saw a flash come from the living room. She saw Shadow walk in. Hey Shadow, where's Rouge? Hey, what? Hey Rouge, where's Sonic? What the heck is wrong with me? What is wrong with me, guys? Rouge hesitantly replied, I lost him? She said nervously. She nervously chuckled. Rouge stayed silent for a couple seconds, no emotion on his face. Slowly, a chaos spirit appeared in his hand, and he stared at Rouge calmly. Oh dear God! Shadow's gonna murder Rouge! Rouge had never felt so afraid in her entire life. In a flash of light blue, Sonic appeared at his destination, the last place he remembers being. The GUN lab. Sonic smiled as he recognized the place and started to crawl out from the tool he was under. He spotted a gold-colored cat scientist from before. Wait, yeah, the gold-colored cat scientist from before, and tried to get her attention. Ah, bah, bah! The feline rose and looked down. Her eyes widened and she recognized the baby. What are you doing here? She said softly. As she picked him up, Sonic smiled and nuzzled her. Aw, that's cute. Now, as much as I don't like, I like the Sonic series, but as much as I like the Sonic series, I actually don't like Sonic himself. Don't judge me, guys. The cat's blue-colored eyes held worry for the blue cub in front of her. He didn't deserve what was happening to him, Sonic was looking up at her with his innocent emerald eyes and attempted to talk. Bah! Ah! Ah! I am bad at making baby noises. He said as he reached up to her face. With a small hand, she let him wrap his hand around her finger, and smiled. Small tears in her eyes. I'm going to get you out of here, she whispered to him. She had to think of who was the child's guardian. Then the name hit her. Shadow the Hedgehog. The feline had to admit that she was slightly afraid of the agent, more or so than the commander. But that wasn't going to stop her from getting this child to safety. She asked one of the scientists to find her the address of Shadow's home, and set off to get there. Only for her to bump into the commander on the way out. You lost, Sonic, Shadow said, slowly, trying to hold his burning rage. Rouge gulped, wishing she wasn't anywhere but here, and attempted to defend herself. It's not my fault, Shadow. Sonic knows how to chaos control. Shadow froze for a second, pondering what Rouge had said. Could it be that maybe Sonic had gotten a hold of one of his emeralds? If so, then Rouge was supposed to be watching him. Okay, there you go. Scroll for some reason. Where the heck? What? Okay. Shadow's eyes narrowed. This wouldn't have happened if you were watching him, he said angrily, getting closer to Rouge. Rouge backed away, raising her hands. I was! It's just that when I was feeding him, he spit baby food all over me, so I went upstairs and left him alone with a Chaos Emerald? Shadow interrupted, gritting his teeth. I didn't give him a Chaos Emerald. I don't even know how he was able to get it. And after I saw him with it, I took it away and put it on a table away from his reach. Rouge defended. You still shouldn't have left him alone, Shadow yelled angrily. I know. That was my fault, and I'm sorry. But we're getting nowhere but just arguing. We have to start looking for the kid. He could be anywhere right now. Shadow sighed in annoyance, glared at her, and started to think. Chaos control most of the time works depending on a place you've seen before. Someone has appeared somewhere he's been before. Shadow said. His eyes widened as he looked at Rouge. We need to go back to the hotel. Rouge didn't even get to finish her sentence, as Shadow chaos controlled, taking her with him. Honey the cat looked at... Wait, it's Honey? I don't remember Honey has... Oh wait, yeah, Honey has blue eyes. Okay. Honey the cat looked at the commander, fear in her eyes. Wait. Why is Honey a scientist at GUN if she's a fashion designer in the comics? That actually makes no sense to me. Maybe the creator of this story just forgot. I love Sonic 2000. Okay. Anyway, let's continue with the story. Honey his cut short as he realized what the feline had in her hand. He smirked as he laid eyes on Sonic, who was sleeping now, Chaos Emerald wrapped around his little arms. He looked up at Honey and said, "Where did you find him?" It was more of a command than a question. Honey gulped and said, I was just going to take him home. She tried to walk around the commander, but he blocked her. Hand him over. I'll take him home for you, the commander said. Honey backed away, but noticed she was surrounded by two other scientists blocking her path. One of them being Professor Brain. Amanda injected Sonic with serum. The commander smirked and took Sonic away from Honey. As Professor Brian, why do I keep saying Brain when I mean Brian? Professor Brian held her back. No! You can't do this! He doesn't deserve any of this. Take him back to his home, Honey said, tears streaking down her cheeks. The commander smirked. This would be his new home until that idiotic project decides to pick him up. He looked at her as if she were garbage. Take her back to the lab. I want her to see what is about to happen. Professor Brian smirked and said, "Yes, sir." He walked away with Honey as the commander followed him. I need water, but I don't have water right now because my throat is dry. But where was I? Yeah. As soon as they appeared in the hotel room, thank goodness no one was using it. Oh my god, my friends have such perverted minds. I am thinking dirty thoughts right now. Don't judge me, guys. My friends have really perverted minds. Okay. The Shadow immediately started searching for his kid. That was an hour ago. Now Rouge was just sitting up in one of the chairs waiting for Shadow to finally figure out that Sonic was nowhere in the room. Shadow finally sat down inside, putting his face in his hands. I was supposed to protect him, he thought. Oh dang, my throat. Rouge sighed. She walked up to the stressed out Hedgie. Really, Hedgie. Oh my god. She put a hand on his shoulder. Shadow just shrugged it off. Look, is there any other place that Sonic's been before? Shadow asked. The only other place he's been in is Shadow's eyes widen to the size of dinner plates as the realization hit him with a ton of bricks. G-U-N, he said simply. Rouge's eyes widen as dang it. As she realizes the danger she had just put a 3-month-old child in. Oh my god, Shadow, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. Enough. Shadow growled harshly. He grabbed her hand roughly and chaos controlled, praying to the chaos that his son was safe. Oh man, what the? No, Sonato. No, Sonato. No. Okay. So, let us continue. Chapter 12. When the commander and the professor got to the lab, they tied Honey to a chair and placed Sonic on the same metal table as before. They took away his chaos emerald and strapped him down. Sonic had a confused look on his face as he looked around. The commander smirked evilly as he looked at the professor. Did you have anything else you wish to test on him? The professor. Why am I messing up so much? I get to like so much. Also, guys, I'm doing my best to do voices, and I'm trying to make my voice as deep as possible for Shadow. And as for Rouge, I've tried before. I cannot do a Rouge voice. No offense to those of you who are Rouge fans, like one of the, like Princess Daisy 64, but I don't like Rouge. I have opinions on her. I'm not going to say those opinions because it's most likely going to make you guys mad. But as I was reading, the professor smirked. Dang it. The professor smirked and brought out a needle filled with a yellow substance. This will enhance his chaos and energy levels, but it will be excruciatingly painful as it goes through his system. Honey's eyes widened and she screamed, "No! Don't do this! Stop!" The professor simply ignored her as he injected the needle into Sonic's arm. Sonic screamed at the top of his lungs as he felt the liquid course through his veins. He started to cry and screamed heavily at the pain. Tears came to the cat's eyes as she screamed out, "No! Stop this! Please, just leave him alone! He doesn't deserve this!" The pain got so intense for Sonic that the baby passed out. Aww. Serum still going through his bloodstream. He still had a pained look on his face as he slept. "You monster!" Honey said as she continued to cry. The commander walked over to Honey and lifted her chin with a pair of fingers, rubbing her tears in a mocking way. If I ever find out that you told anyone about what occurred here," he whispered in her face, his breath making the girl want to gag, "then I will personally see it. The last thing you will see will be this baby dying a slow, painful death." The man grinned cruelly at the girl's frightened expression. He walked away from the cat as she yelled, "You sadistic monster!" He smiled and looked to one of the guards. Make sure she gets an escort. That's supposed to say N. A and or N, not and. "Make sure she gets an escort home." The guard nodded. He looked towards the feline that stood up. After getting untied, her hands rubbing her wrists. Man, my throat. Okay, guys, I'm gonna keep reading, but man, these chapters just keep getting longer as I read them. Here happens the music. There we go. That was weird. expect you to be here as usual tomorrow, right, honey?" He smiled cruelly. The cat looked toward the passed-out baby on the table, then sighed, glaring at the commander, and said, "Yes, sir," she said, regret, a growing hatred for the commander. A guard escorted her out of the building, a guard escorted her out of the building and to her home. "That'll teach her to mess with me," the commander thought. He picked up Sonic and went back to his office, waiting for the project to burst through the door any minute. He looked down at Sonic and started to rub the baby's twitching ear. Sonic continued to have that pained expression on his face, the occasional whimper escaping his lips. The commander chuckled easily. "Oh man, I just filled up my cup with water and I filled it up all the way to the top on accident because I was looking at the tablet." Excuse me. Okay, now where was I? Oh yeah, there was a flash of golden light that filled the room as Shadow appeared in the man's office. Wait, was it golden when Shadow teleports? I don't think so. At least, fudge! Cramp. I just cramp in my neck. Oh man, my neck. I hate when that happens. But anyway, guys, where was I? Oh yeah. Shadow was the perfect definition of blazing fury as he looked at his sleeping child in Commander's arms. Give me him now," he said, gritting through gritted teeth. The commander got up and walked over to Shadow, practically throwing the child into the hedgehog's arms as he smirked. "I thought you were responsible enough to take care of a simple child. I guess I was wrong," he said, as he walked back to his chair, ignoring the burning eyes of Shadow that were drilling holes into his skull. Ruth stayed quiet the entire time, feeling as if the whole thing was her fault. In a sense, it was. Shadow simply chaos controlled, taking Sonic, I don't even think Shadow, Sonic and Rouge with him. Brought out the device showing Sonic's power levels. He grinned as he saw it rise at a steady pace. "Nothing is going to stop me now." Whew. My throat is getting really dry from reading this. It's because the chapters are so freaking long, and how many chapters are there? I forgot. 28 freaking chapters! Wait, no. 29. 29 freaking chapters. This is going to be painful. So freaking painful. This is gonna be the last chapter for today, guys, for this video, because my throat is hurt as heck. Now, since I get out of school in just a few days, I will have more time to do videos, and I asked my friend Jaden. By the way, go check out his channel. I will leave a link to Jaden's channel in the description below, and as well as the story. But he has capture cards, and with those capture cards, I will finally be able to get better quality on my playthrough videos. So this summer, I I will probably have I will most likely have better quality in my playthrough videos. So just a heads up. Okay. Chapter 13. Shadow appeared at his house with Sonic and Rouge and Tao. In Tao? What? Whatever. He looked down at Sonic. He noted the pained look on the child's face as he whimpered, clutching Shadow's emerald Shadow's emerald tighter. Shadow gaze. I think it's supposed to say shadows. Shadow's gaze softened as he rubbed his son's ear. I'm so sorry, he thought. I was supposed to protect you. I'm trying to make my voice as deep as I can for Shadow. Shadow's eyes narrowed as he remembered there was someone else in the room. He turned around to Rouge and glared at her fiercely. Shadow sighed before speaking. Shadow, get out. Shadow spat with anger, interrupting her. Rouge looked surprised for a second, then she sighed guiltily. I didn't mean for him to get lost, you know. I was supposed to know he would be able to... How was I supposed to know he was able to Chaos Control? Heck, even you didn't know till today. All I want to say is I'm sorry, but you're going to have to understand that you won't be able to protect him every time he's in danger. Rouge headed for the door. Sooner or later, he's gonna get into a problem that you can't help him with, and you're not gonna be able to do anything about it. Rouge looked back one time before turning around and closing the door, leaving Shadow alone with Sonic. Shadow looked down at Sonic. The cub looked peaceful as he slept in his arms, still hugged the ruby-colored emerald with his small arms. Shadow sighed and walked over to Sonic's crib. Oh, I need water. I'm sorry, I'm getting so tongue-tied in this story, guys, and I'm sorry I'm stuttering a lot. But I have a problem. Oh. Okay. He laid him down onto the small bed. Sonic immediately curled into a ball still wrapped around the Chaos Emerald. Shadow walked over to the couch and sat down, head in his hands, as he thought about what Rouge said. You know she's right, his conscience told him. Yeah, but that doesn't give her the right to leave Sonic alone like that, he retorted. Like she said, you won't be able to protect him all the time. He's going to learn on his own also, the voice said. Shadow groaned as he laid down on the couch, getting tired of arguing with his inner self. As he closed his eyes for a couple of minutes, an hour later, a loud ringing woke Sonic up. Why did I say Sonic? I meant Shadow. Woke Shadow up with a start as he rubbed his eyes. I must have fallen asleep, he thought. He heard the phone ring and walked over to it. He picked it up and said, Shadow the Hedgehog speaking. Hello, this is the lady from the foster home center, Shadow said. Shadow pinched the bridge of his nose and sighed. What did she want? Yes, he said irritably. I've just called to tell you that a new child has arrived here, and we were wondering if you would like to adopt him, the lady said. Shadow's eyes widened at the thought of having to take care of 2 children. You can barely take care of Sonic. How would you take care of 2 children? A voice in his head said. How old is he? He's 5 years old, sir, the woman said. Shadow sighed as he looked over to Sonic. I guess he could use the company of an older brother. What the heck? Dang it. What the heck do you think you're doing? The voice said. Tell her no already. Tell her I'll be over in a couple of minutes. Shadow interrupted. Great. I hope you are able to take care of him. I hope you are able to take him to a loving home. See you in a couple of minutes, the lady said as she hung up. My throat is dry as heck right now. Ugh. Jeez. Shadow sighed as he laid his head against the wall with a thump. What have I gotten myself into, he thought. Shadow walked into the doors of the foster home. Sonic was awake and was looking around as he was carried by Shadow. Shadow walked up to the main desk and saw the lady before him. He cleared his throat and got her attention. She smiled. She looked up at him. She looked up and smiled. Thank you for coming to see him, sir. Was all Shadow said. Emily? Emily, the woman said. Suddenly, the hazel-eyed hedgehog from before walked into the room. She smiled happily at Sonic and Shadow. Shadow and Sonic, whatever. Hello. Hello. I'll show you where the kid is. And it looks like Sonic is very happy with you, she said, as she pet the child's head. The cub just smiled cutely and purred. She turned around and motioned Shadow to follow. They got to a different room as Emily opened the door. Shadow walked in. Dang it. Shadow walked in after her and saw a small child sitting in a chair in front of a large desk. Emily motioned Shadow to sit in the chair. Shadow looked at the child. His fur was an emerald green, and his eyes were a sapphire blue. He looks a lot like Sonic. Shadow thought. It's obviously Scourge. It has to be Scourge because Shadow. Dang it. Shadow and Scourge look similar. The only difference is their fur color. Sonic has blue fur and green eyes, while Scourge has green fur and blue eyes. They're basically the same, just color swapped. Ugh. I freaking knew it. I just went a little bit ahead and I saw Scourge. Emily cleared her throat and said, Shadow, I'd like you to meet Scourge. I knew it. I knew it. Scourge. She said, the said child looked towards Shadow and then looked back towards Emily. This is the guy that's gonna take me home with him, the boy said with a squeaky voice. Only if he wants to, Scourge, Emily said. Scourge eyed Shadow suspiciously. But he looks too emo to have kids, the child said. Shadow just glared. Emily sighed and said, Scourge, that's not how we talk to adults. You know that, she scolded. Scourge avoided her gaze and looked down. Yes, Emily, he said. After about a half hour of talking to the child, Shadow was finally able to leave. And the heck? That's weird. The music didn't start for some reason. Have I been without music for a while? Because if I have, I just barely noticed. Where was I? Okay. After about a half hour of talking to the child, Shadow was finally able to leave. He felt a tug on his arm and looked down. He saw Scourge looking up at him. The child gulped and asked, Are you going to take me home? He asked innocently, making the biggest puppy eyes known to man. The biggest puppy dog eyes known to man. I'm acting so stupid right now, guys. The child gulped and asked, wait, I just passed out. Shadow sighed as he weighed his options. The boy was a good kid. but had an attitude. Had a smart mouth and didn't care what came out of it. But he respected most people. Shadow looked down at the child. I don't know, Shadow said. Scourge's eyes landed on Sonic as him and the baby made eye contact. Sonic giggled as he tried to reach down to Scourge. Okay. Shadow put him on the floor gently as Sonic tried to crawl over to Scourge. The older child went down and sat on the floor in front of Sonic. Sonic crawled into Scourge's lap, tried to reach for him. I'm sorry if I hurt your ears. Scourge smiled sadly as he grabbed the cub's hand. I wish I could go home with you, he whispered to the smaller child. Emily smiled sadly at the heartwarming sight. She looked over to Shadow and asked the question he was expecting. So are you going to take him home with Mr. Hedgehog? Why doesn't she just say Mr. Shadow? Because Mr. Hedgehog would be a very common name, since the most characters in the Sonic universe are hedgehogs. At least from what I've seen. She said, a pleading look in her eyes. Shadow sighed and made the decision that everyone wanted to hear. Yes. Sonic laughed and clapped his hands. Oh, that's so cute. Oh dear God. No, why do people do that? Why? Okay, that was the last chapter for this episode, guys. I will see y'all in the next video. Peace. MeldySketch out. Comment, like, and subscribe. And I will see y'all later. Bye.